Hello, everybody. The sound's on. I have to turn it down. Crap. Diety here. Pretty snazzy walkers, Majora's Mask, and it's midnight of the third day. Just so I don't waste your time, just starting there. And it's a little bit of cutscene going here, I suppose. And well, wait a second. Wait. You know, I'm assuming I cut out way more than I thought, way less than I thought I did, or I don't know. Well, there's a little bit of cutscene here, I guess, saying what's going on. If it's something that could be stopped, just try and stop it. I kind of like that line there. Yeah, so I was just about to say, oh man, I'm gonna end the video and cut out the cutscene, but I think I put it there for a reason. So here's what you do: you have to play the Oath to Order, and just kind of. I'm always tempted to try to play it exactly as it's supposed to sound. And this one goes really slow. And then at the end of this, there's some pretty epic cutscene with like holding up the moon and blah blah blah. And then, hey, we're on the moon now. Yeah, so apparently their idea of the moon is a giant meadow with a huge tree in the middle of it. I don't know how they came to that conclusion, but simple as that. Alright, so basically we're finding these 4 kids, and they all have masks of the bosses we fought. And I'm going to go through them in order because you're sort of supposed to, or they're sort of implying that you should, but it really doesn't matter. Alright, so these kids are, hey, give me some of your masks. And so each kid wants a certain amount of masks. Like the first one, he only wants 1 at first. It's sort of, well, you'll see what I mean when we get to the end of this. So basically what they are is there's 4 mini dungeons. Each of them have a heart piece in them, by the way, if you're interested. Obviously aren't, but so there's one designed for each of your forms, including human. And this is probably one of the easier ones. They're not really too hard. They're more like mazes than they are actual things, or at least this one is. There's more challenge in some of the other ones. This one, it's more just timing, which really, it's not very hard, and obviously you don't want to hit those things. And I don't know why I'm always blurring here. I don't even know why my camera does that. It just kind of records that way. It just randomly starts blurring. It doesn't do that in videos that I record normally. I don't know what its deal is. Oh well. Also, make sure you keep the bunny hood until the end of this. Otherwise, I'll explain why in a second. But yeah, so you go through the thing. They're like, hey, more masks. And they say something really creepy. It's like, do you have friends? I wonder what friends are like. And basically, so you can save a bunch of time running across this meadow here, you're gonna want to keep the bunny hood until the very end of this. Yep. Okay, so now we have to go to the Goron one. In this one, I used to really hate this one, and then I found out it was way easier than I thought. And yeah, these kids keep running away from me. For some reason, you don't run any faster while you're targeting someone. And yes, you just kind of look for the Gaunt mask. The next one's going to be Georg, and then Twin Mold. So basically, my system is just give away the more useless masks first. Like, I have no use for the Keaton, Bremen mask, you know. Just that the ones you want to keep are probably the Mask of Truth and the Bunny Hood, and maybe the Blast Mask, and the Stone and Blast Mask. Blast Mask. Bleh. Alright, so, go on one. And you want to kind of center yourself here. It's not exactly necessary, but the more centered you are, the better, I suppose. And what you do, just keep holding A. Like, don't hold any directions while you're bumping off those. Otherwise, you're going to just go wild when you hit it. Which is what I thought you had to try to turn it at exactly the right time the first time I did this. And I got really mad when I found out that all you have to do is just hold A the whole time. Basically, just hold A till you get about here. Then, don't touch that thing in the middle there, because that just warps you back to the start. And then you want to position yourself right in front of it, and then just try to roll across here. It's much easier than it sounds. Trust me. I would know. After all, I'm only a neurosurgeon. Well, not really, but... Cow mask and the crying mask. Oh. Yeah, so today is probably the last day I'm going to have to do any sort of commentary for a very long time. Mainly because I need a break. It's not because I'm lazy, it's because I don't have time. And I have no reason to record any more footage, and school starting and all that crap. Yeah, I'm very busy. Very, very busy. I probably don't even have time to be doing this now because I have stuff I have to do, but oh well, might as well do it. Computer turning black. Whatever. Alright, so this person wants 3 each time. These kids get progressively greedy. Also, if you didn't notice, all these kids, they're sort of like the Happy Mask salesman, except as a child, I suppose. Or at least I think it is. I don't see what else he would be, because they look like him. Maybe you kind of see like the back of their head or the side of their face or something. Alright, so this is the dungeon where you play as a Zora, and I found the easiest path to do this is left, left, right, right. And I don't know, it's like the first time I did this, I just kind of guessed my way through it and it ended up at the right ending there. And if you go left, left, right, left, you get a heart piece. But I don't know, I accidentally kept ending up there. That's why you saw a slight split there in the clip, because I kept ending up at the heart piece one because the current sort of took me out of the way. Yeah. Also, another note, you can't talk to these guys while you're wearing another form. They'll say, "Hey, show me your real face," or something silly like that. Alright, and the final one, which is not very arguably at all the more difficult one, mainly because it's the most dangerous. 'Cause the other ones, you can just sort of, you can fall and die and yada yada yada, but they don't really care because they'll just respawn you at the start. This one, oop, there's actual death involved. You know what we say about death? It's a fantastic band. Yes, it is. That's everybody's homework. If you haven't heard of them, look them up. Okay. And this is the greediest of them all. He's like, "Hey, give me 4 masks." No, I'm not going to give you anything in return, but give me 4 masks. Usually I'd keep the Garo mask just for the sake of being cool, but nah, I don't really have much room for it now. And I'm just keeping the bunny hood on for the sake of having it on, I suppose. Don't worry, by the end of this video, it'll all be worth it, because we're going to get the most important thing ever. Yay. Sort of. Actually, it's more like a huge cheating machine. Alright, what you're going to want here is probably one of my favorite things to use, the Great Fairy Sword. And so if you remember this guy, we made a big deal out of him in the first temple. Then you fight 2 of them at once with no big deal at all in the second temple. Yeah, well, they die in one shot from this sword. So that's a pretty good thing, I suppose. I mean, if you want to talk to those, they give you hints as to where some of the masks are. And we have another Garo Master. And I'll tell you now, he's much easier to fight if you have the normal sword out as opposed to the... And here I'm having a lot of trouble with him. I don't know why. I almost never have any trouble with this Garo Master here, but... So probably the only difficulty about this guy here is the fact that he's in a much smaller area. You have much less room to fight him in, as opposed to that huge wide open space you had to fight him in last time. This should be that should have been the last hit there if I actually got him. Oh well. Yeah, just keep your cool and should be fine. Yeah, it makes you wish that enemies weren't smart though. I suppose all that really matters is that I kill him. And this one, they gave you no prior warning with the explosion here, because he can actually hurt you this time. And that's fantastic. Alright, you know, I actually completely forget what was in that chest, so that's the only way to get up. Instead of making a ladder, like, hey, let's make it a little more convoluted and a few more steps involved, and we'll put a chest there and say, hey, hook shot up to this. Whatever, let's find out what's in there. I think it's arrows. Yeah, it's arrows. I already stocked up on arrows before I came here, which is probably recommended because you are going to need a bunch when you fight the final boss coming up. Alright, and I'm going to say put on your stone mask because you can use that as an opportunity to sneak up on this guy. And that's always a good thing, isn't it? Yeah, because these guys are dangerous, so whatever free hit you can get on them, take it. You know? Because they deal 2 damage to you, and that's probably leaning towards dangerous. And there's this part where they start getting really fast. I think I had a perfect fight against this one for like the first time. Yeah. Yeah, how's that armor doing you now? Okay. And here, if you haven't gotten them before, you're going to get a new item here, I suppose. Which, you can buy this item in the, what's it called, the bomb shop for, I think, 20 rupees for 5 of them or something like that. I don't remember exactly. But since this part is pretty error prone, you might want to have a bunch of them. And I realized I put it in the wrong direction. You're supposed to blow up that crack in the wall and like, hit a switch under there. It's kind of difficult, actually. It's sort of time it right, which is why I came with way more bomb shoes than necessary. I mean, I suppose it's always good to be prepared. Just kind of like let it flash a couple of times, and then it should make it. Yeah, so stand at the end of the wall, let it flash twice, and that should be enough. Because after a while, it will blow up in your hand, just not as doesn't blow up as quickly as it would, assuming that you weren't holding it. Whatever. And actually, right here, just for the sake of doing so, I'm going to show you another trick, mainly because I figured, I kind of need full health. So if you stand near one of these like gossip stones and not pull out a bomb shoe like I did there. You play the Song of Healing, something fantastic happens. Just give it a second here. And it lets out a fairy for you. And I think you can probably only do that once per gossip stone, but don't take my word on that. Okay, now this one's a little bit harder to get. Actually, I'm going to show you, like, put on the Mask of Truth. You can talk to him. See, and he says, oh, he has the Keaton mask. Well, if you did the Kai-Fi quest, you should have the mask anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Okay. So, we're actually pretty much done here. I don't know why there's so much dilly-dallying going on. And, yeah, this one's slightly harder to get because you have a little bit less space to work with. But as I said, I came prepared with a bunch of bomb shoes. It's probably going to be pretty bothersome if you find out you run out of bomb shoes, because you'll probably have to like redo this entire place, and then you'll probably cry. And for no apparent reason, just for the sake of wasting some of your magic, they're like, hey, let's put ice over that, just to tick you off. It's like this game puts random obstacles in the way for the sake of doing it. It's sort of like how games are like, oh yeah, great co-op in this game, and their excuse of co-op is obstacles that require 2 people to go past. It's just a lazy attempt at putting in 2-player mode, I suppose. You notice that statue in the background is kind of creepy. There's those weird grins on it. Well, no, it's not really a grin. It's like upside down. Whatever. Alright, so now, just for the sake of making you sad, you have to walk all the way across, all by yourself. So yeah, that's pretty much what you're going to need in this fight. I just kind of put the ocarina on for the sake of doing it, but Great Fairy Sword. Actually, I don't really need anything for the fight coming up, but you'll see what I mean next video when we fight the final boss. Ooh, scary. Not really, but you know. Speak with the kid wearing Majora's mask. Will you play with me? You're already masked. Well, here, take this mask that can easily kill me. Alright guys, it's Fierce Deity Mask. We'll see you in the next video.